Hi everybody, and welcome to this video on how to make your very own departmental wagons. This one will be focusing on a ZTP van. So let's begin with the model we're going to be working on first. Most departmental wagons were actually modifications on older vehicles, items of rolling stock. So in this case here we can see it's a Great Western Railway Toad brake van, guards van. The original design of these actually dates back to the 1800s, and they survived right up to the 1970s. In fact, this one for the model we're doing actually survived right up into the 1990s. But, there we go. So this here is a kit-built item, so I've picked up for this project. As you can see, it's free running wheels, quite well put together, a nice basic detail all round. So now we know what we're dealing with. Let's start off by looking at what we've got to do to adjust it. Strip it apart, and start building. So here we go. So for this model, first thing I have to do is get the roof off, because we need to get inside. So here we go. One we did earlier. There's a little chimney on the back of the roof there that will have to go, because on the real one it was removed. The windows have been back glazed, not flush glazed, so that will have to be adjusted a little bit later on when the time comes. And also look at the position of all the windows and bits. For example, here on the real one, this centre panel is actually a window, so I have to change that. The veranda end will need plating over, again as per the prototype. The full end was covered in, and we'll be looking at that in just a moment and how it's done. Before we do that, the first thing we have to do is actually remove the branding. So get all the old transfers and bits off and flat the paint back, because it's going to be repainted into a different colour from what it is now, and obviously anything that's left on there would leave a ghost and that would ruin the model. Also remove the glazing that was fitted to the back of the windows, so that's all gone now. We're getting ready then for doing the modifications, such as opening out that panel back into a window. And that sort of thing. So we just check everything's in place, nothing damaged, nothing missing. It's got some nice brass bearings been fitted, so we don't want to get those filled with paint either, so we'll make sure they're covered up. Repair any damage, like that. And just get everything prepped and ready now for going back together. Take note of which way around the roof goes, because as you see I've removed that chimney, as I said I have to. So we'll check everything fits right, and then on with the next bit. All the separate panels are going to be made from sheets of plasticard and are fixed into place using mech pack rather than using any other glue. That's because it bonds it together as one and doesn't leave any residue, as you can see. Window holes were drawn up to scale before cutting and then tidied up using a file. Again, everything fixed together with mech pack. That's the basic assembly all together. Getting ready for paint now. Just check for any gaps before we do. I'm happy with that, so let's get it into paint. Couple of thin layers of white primer go on first. I've added the plated up windows before painting. I've also taken care to mask off the buffers. That's because they're sprung and obviously the paint would make them solid. And now for the top paint, this is Departmental Olive Green. With that done, you can look at painting the ends. They should be yellow, because again by the prototype I had what we call wasp stripes on them. So for these here I've just painted them with a warning yellow, and then when that was dried I've washed it down with some white, very thin white paint, so it looks sort of sun bleached and faded. The sand boxes have also been painted red as per the prototype for this model. I've painted them now rather than later, because obviously once the roof is fixed on. There we go. I'm not going to get in there with a paintbrush. although it is very dark inside and difficult to see on this video, you can actually see in there on the real thing, and you can see in there on the model, and you know they should be painted up so you can notice them. So that's that. Anyway, moving on. Now for the ends I mentioned wasp stripes, and here they are. 2 sheets of transfers. I got these from Steve at Railtech, and they were ordered online and they arrived very, very quickly. So as you can see, nice simple instructions that come with them. A couple of sheets of those, so now I've got to measure them up, get them cut and done to the right shape. I'm going to have to do each panel individually and fit them to the model. Before I do that, I noticed something wrong. The bottom of the handrail here, you can see I've already removed, has been done because on the real one it wasn't there. So now that's been cut off and cleaned back, I'll just touch up the paint on that area. There we go. Let that dry, and then we'll get back to where we were sorting out those transfers. Right, here we go. So, as I just said, we've removed the bit of handrail that shouldn't be there, painted it up. You can obviously, on that side it was still in place, on this side, for whatever reason it was removed. I think possibly because there's a data panel to be fitted along the bottom edge just there. So now we've got that sorted. Just go around and have a look here. You notice this end has now gone back into a much brighter shade of yellow. That's because after checking the photographs of this side, it was really quite glossy and shiny versus this side, which was obviously exposed to the elements and quite tatty. So with all that done, let's start fitting those transfers. So we move on a bit, and as you can see, all the transfers have now been fitted for both ends. I'm rather pleased how they've come out. I've also, as you'll see, painted all the frames into matte black, done all the irons, the window surrounds, buffer beams, the steps. I've also been underneath and painted all the brake rigging, done the axle hangers and all the other bits. You know, the paintwork on this side has now been faded. This has been done using this little device here. So a glass fibre pen. You can also get with a brass attachment, a little bit more abrasive. Be very careful with these if you're going to use them, because if the little fibres do end up stuck in your finger or anywhere else, they can be rather irritating and painful. But yeah, just worked from the photographs, looked at the direction of the weathering and copied that. Painted in the data panel, as you can see. So that needs to be finished off. And yeah, look at now at doing the glazing and any other sort of small details and bits that need to be done. Check the buffers are still sprung, and happy to report that, yep, they are. That end stays clean, but just needs the lamp bracket painting in. This end here, which is even cleaner, requires some extra bits doing, like these holes, which I've noted from this photograph here. So, here we are then, roof on. We've fitted the windows at the end, they're flush glazed, and a little bit fiddly to do, but worth it in the end. Little lip under there on the window has been fitted. The handrail is actually a track pin, I've had to adjust and paint it in. Done all the handrails all round using a paint pen, a little bit fiddly, but worth it, as you can see. Lamp bracket's been done at that end. We're putting a lamp on there because it didn't carry one. Again, just touch up all the handrails, even on the tatty side, because the handrails were in good nick. At this end here, we also fitted the steps because they were missing. And now we've got to do that data panel. So to do that, I go to the old transfer sheets and nick a few bits. And there we go, combining a few oddments on the transfer sheets with a little bit of hand painting. Done that. Now I'll admit it's not 100% accurate, but for what it needs to be and how the real one looks, I'm rather pleased with that, if I say so myself. So yeah, again, just comparing this end to the real one. Decided against fitting those two holes in the side of the body. I'm not fully sure why they were there on the real one, but decided for the sake of the model and where it's going to be, you're not really going to see them anyway, so I'd rather not drill them in there rather than, you know, risk damaging this. I've got to this stage. Obviously I've refitted the wheels and they're all free rolling. Couplings are painted back into black, and it's just about done. And for those of you wondering why I've built this wagon, it's actually a gift. There we go, I made this for Dave at Tinsley for Christmas. And there it is on Tinsley layout in its correct position. So, thanks for watching. Hope this video has been interesting and perhaps even inspired you to have a go at building your own departmental wagons. So, there you go. Thanks for watching again, and bye for now.